I'd wonder if in the next 10 years we should expect to see an anime-inspired Broadway show. Like, because
Wow.
whether it's West End or Broadway, like those are the pinnacle focus points of professional theater around the world, right? Um,
Yeah.
and it'd be interesting to see because I even if it was for like a limited run, like I don't know that there is any one anime that's big enough to draw a large enough audience to have a Broadway show run for a long period of time, with the exception of like I don't know, maybe Pokemon, which would
That's
be
fair.
quite the musical.
I would
The Pokemon
flip
musical.
I would flip tables and kick children to get in that theater
I
as
would
many times as I could.
maybe we should pitch the Pokemon franchise on doing a musical, and we'll
Should we write it first, or would we get sued? Would we, like, if we sent them a full completed musical script for Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back the musical, do you think they would sue us?
I don't. As long as we don't go run off and actually produce the show, I don't think so.
Without their blessing.
Yeah, without their
Without Pikachu
it just seems like an
himself.
option, right?
I I I can't actually. I mean, because there have been like I've seen online. There's like Pokemon like parades and stuff.
Oh yeah, which is
So
very Lion King. Even if it was like a musical concert, like I feel like there's options,
yeah. Oh my
right?
god. These people, they keep doing the jukebox musicals on every person. Why can't we have a Pokemon jukebox musical? Like, just grab famous songs from wherever. Japan. If we're gonna put it on Broadway, I guess we can grab US songs, and it's just the Pokemon or the trainers or
In
I
hindsight,
really think we can do this, Gio.
in
I really
hindsight,
think.
in hindsight, Shonen Jump, Viz Media, fucking Sony, I don't know, Crunchyroll should do live concerts.
I can't
And they
believe.
should have scenes and like play famous original soundtracks that are dubbed or like Philharmonic. I don't know. There's a whole performance element to this that could easily be done. But back to the thing, besides Pokemon. So like, I mean,
Mm.
the reason I went there is that this is just interesting for me now. Now we're just spitballing into our world and how we combine our world of theater and performance with anime. So just run with this for a moment. I
Mm-hmm.
don't let's I'm gonna acknowledge I brought up Viz Media and Shonen Jump because I think that if you were to combined if you were to combine the catalog of music and intellectual property of everything that is done by Shonen Jump or everything that is licensed through Viz Media or in the US through Crunchyroll or Funimation, whatever, and you were to create a night of performance, I think you would draw enough people in almost every major city if you had a large enough catalog, right?
Yes.
But on Broadway, where you're limited in terms of I say limited, but it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. But
Is
you're limited
it?
to I think it is. I think theater on Broadway is like at least $1 billion industry. Oh, but let me clarify something. Actually, that's a fair objection to that. I don't mean that the industry itself generates $1 billion in revenue. What I mean is economically, it's $1 billion economic engine because it
Mm-hmm.
involves restaurants and hotels and um,
Yes.
just like all the tourism
Gift
that is
shop,
involved.
like,
And but
yeah.
but at the end of the day, like you'll have people who will fly in and like go see a Broadway show or like go fly in to see the Broadway show and then
Yes.
also do other things, right? So like
Yes. Yes.
the economic engine is definitely at least $1 billion.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Okay, that is fair, because I'm like,
yeah, no,
I
fair enough.
they no one's making money on
Yeah, yeah, fair
Broadway.
enough, fair enough. So,
Mm.
so my point being, when you need to attract a consistent flow of audience members to maintain the run of a show on that, like you would on Broadway, right?
Mm-hmm.
What besides Pokemon as a standalone franchise do you think would attract the number of people necessary to keep a Broadway show open for even a year? Like I said, without having like a concert night, and then even then, I don't know if you'd be able to. Like a one-time only thing in each city once a year would be one thing, but if you're doing it every night, including sometimes matinees, a couple times a
Yeah,
week, like
8
I don't know.
shows.
I don't know if there's a brand big enough for people to go, I will go to New York to see that show
Yeah.
and feel
I
sick.
mean, like the one that might get not I think, let me first say this. I don't think there is a franchise or a name, an anime, what have you, that could parallel what Pokemon would do if we brought Pokemon to Broadway. I don't think there's one out there. I really just don't. I think the first one that I thought of, that like if Pokemon is all the way up here, this one would be all the way down here, but still doing its fucking best, would be My Hero Academia.
Mm.
I think My Hero Academia could make a good Broadway musical. Because
For a limited run, or do you think it could last for a year?
no way. No shot at last year. No shot. I mean, that's maybe 4 months.
So an intentional, like, multi-month run, just marketed the hell at the right people in the U.S. to try to get them to come to New York just to see this thing.
It would have to be marketed that way, or else they would lose so much money, because in order to do that show and have the proper costuming and set and shoes and makeup people to do all of these different characters that are so distinctly different, and have a set of like 2 or 3 of them for each person, the understudy, the swing, what have you, like everyone would lose so much money if they did not specifically say, okay, this is going to be a 4-month thing, a 3-month thing, what have you. Or if it toured, that could be interesting, but I don't think it would tour to like Broadway. I feel like it would tour to like NJ Pack or like outlier places, like professional theaters, but outside, that take in a show for a week and then bring it around. I think My Hero could do well if it went to the right cities.
I agree
What do
with
you
you.
think?
I agree with you. I think that the tour model would work better because there's not a. Because I was even thinking maybe they do it. Maybe they could do it off Broadway and be more successful, right? Because a Broadway house is a
Oh
lot
yeah,
to fill and like
totally.
just be interested. But
You
on
know
a
what?
tour, there's like a
Mm,
couple of nights in a major city that just need to fill up the seats, and that's for me far more likely than like a 4-month run in a full Broadway house,
for
unless it's
sure.
a big name. The other thing is like the other thing I was thinking about is what show has the catalog to create the content that would get people out, right? Because like Bleach, Naruto, they have these incredibly well-known like soundtracks, right? Like even
Mm,
there are openings that you've probably heard of that you've yet not even seen yet in the show itself, right?
totally.
Or or whatever, right? And so, you know, I think like Pokemon is unique in the sense that besides the opening theme song that we all screamed in the shower as a child, I don't actually know another song. But if Pokemon got behind it and called it the official Pokemon musical, out of respect for myself, I would go see it.
And I would learn the music too. Like
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Pokemon has the pull and the money to get probably the best. Like if Lin Manuel Miranda signed on to write the Pokemon musical,
Yeah, go see it.
I mean, yeah, like you
Like,
would go see it in a heartbeat.
I bet you would have similar success to Hamilton.
I bet it would have similar success to Hamilton, at least for a period of time. Like Hamilton stands, like, and Hamilton can go on without any of the original folks. But if Lin-Manuel Miranda got together with whoever he wanted on his team and Pokemon itself backed that project, it would make so much money.
I can tell you now. He takes his Moana team.
Oh
He
yeah.
creates a ballad for Butterfree. It's over.
My
It's
heart had a
over.
physical reaction when you said that. My chest went,
It's just like, you take no matter how far I'll go, and you bring it to Butterfree, and it's just like,
oh my god!
I don't even own an iTunes account because, as you know, I'm team not Apple. Not that our listeners know that, but I would pay $1.99 to own that song on iTunes.
Like, and I feel like they would make an amazing song for like the Squirtle Squad.
Yeah.
Can you hear that? Like, I can hear
song.
In the Heights when I think of them. Like, how good In the Heights like interweaves like people coming in and adding on, and how conversational it is while just staying so on beat and so good. Wow. I hope they write Pokemon.
It's just like, how do you balance what's the right franchise with like what's going to be the easiest thing to make? And I guess if you have $1 million checkbook or a multi-million-dollar checkbook and you can afford the licensing, you can turn any show into music when it doesn't already have the music. But like, I would love to know what would be more successful, right? Does it make sense to target all of the Naruto lovers out there in the world and create new music and also bring in music that you know and love for a tour? Would that be more successful? Or a show that we all know and love and have respect for, even if we didn't really that deeply watch it, but we still have a childhood nostalgia to it in a show like Pokemon? Like, I couldn't tell you what would be the bigger hit, because I think they could both be extremely successful and profitable.
Know what I thought about with Naruto too? I feel like Naruto could be really successful in a small, like, borderline black box off Broadway thing. Like, have you ever heard of like Drunk Shakespeare?
Mm-hmm.
So like that is like, it's like you kind of like go up and it moves around. Like, it's had like a couple different homes as far as like its main theater, but and then you walk in and it's just a room, and it's like very like fourth wall breaky, but like the actors are like, a foot in front of you, and in that show in particular they interact with you. And I feel like Naruto done in that kind of way, where we're like having fun with the fact that we all love Naruto, and like they make jokes on it, or like it's like a little bit more casual. I think that would run for years. I'm talking like top maximum 50 people in the room, in the audience per show. I feel like that could run for years off Broadway.
Or even like a Sleep No More kind of a deal, where it's very
Yes.
immersive.
Yes.
You have enough to like walk through, see different plot lines, see something new. I think we're onto something here. I don't think enough people are thinking about this. And I think if they are, they're probably looking to the success of what's successful in Japan. And I would actually be really interested for us to do a whole segment on this industry of theater, of live theater in Japan.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like, Japan may not just be the market for something like this. I mean, we are known for this.
Yeah, we are, especially
like,
New York.
We have the infrastructure. We have theaters all throughout the country that could house certain projects. Just be interesting. It'd just be an interesting exercise to understand the background behind, the numbers behind how these things are working in Japan. Just be curious to see that.